Welcome, ladies, gents, and otherwise amazing people to another episode of the Coolest Guys You Know podcast. I'm your host, Alex Bagley, the guy with the... Oh, I screwed that up.
Did you?
Yeah, the guy with the beard and the glasses, Alex Bagley. I should have said it that way. And alongside me is my co-host, the guy with the mustache, Jack Hefflinger.
Great. Already starting off strong here.
It's going to be a good episode. All right.
Oh,
How are we doing today?
not too bad. How about yourself?
Pretty well.
It's still cold.
I was going to say, should we check the weather?
Yeah, weather
thing?
check. It's still cold.
I thought about it. I was like, it literally means nothing to them because it's on a day that like they have no. It's not like the day of or.
Nope.
Yeah,
It could be the day of.
Yeah. We could be recording this on Wednesday because we are recording on a Wednesday.
Correct.
Or are we? A little bit of timeception there. If we got to turn around that quickly, that'd be crazy.
That would be, yeah.
Especially
like that.
considering our technical issues.
Yes.
Like we're nowhere close to being able to do same day.
Oh, no.
But
Maybe.
it'd be straight.
It'd have to be morning.
I feel like, you'd have to have the day off, I feel like.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah. All right. Well, it is bright blue skies.
It is.
It's a little chilly, but, the walk here was fine.
That's good.
Yeah.
I saw you were wearing a big jacket, though.
Yeah, I kind of forgot that the weather warmed up a little bit today, but it made it a nice walk, so I was comfortable instead of just like a little bit chilly, where you're like, the longer you go, you're like, man, I really wish I was warmer.
Really wish I also wasn't doing this.
Hey, I love walking outside.
I do, too. It's good. Well, we live in a good spot for it, too.
Yeah, I'm going to miss that when I move, but
You'll be in a good spot, too, I think.
probably. Yeah, I feel like there might be. I mean, it's not like there's a lot of nature, but the lake is right there.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, I need to find a good park nearby
Yes.
to go walk around in, which I haven't been doing much. I haven't been walking as much because my back is fucked up.
Is it still bad?
Oh yeah, no, this is just an everyday thing now. Like I wake up and I'm just like, oh. No, probably gonna have to cancel that, or not probably. I am thinking I'm gonna cancel the hiking trip I'd been planning, which
Oh,
kind of sucks. Yeah.
Did you get all the gear for it already?
Yeah, I mean that's not as big a deal because I mean I can just like if
Yeah.
I'm planning on doing this as a hobby, which I am still. It's just I have to get the back figured out. The stuff will be good. So yeah, but tough decisions. To be like, I don't think I'm going to be able to do that.
I mean, if you see a chiropractor in time,
I don't think it's just like see a chiropractor. I think.
How do you know?
Because it's years worth of messed up back.
Have you ever been to a chiropractor?
No, but I know that once first off, there's not 100% sure like that chiropractor works, especially for everybody. But also a big thing is usually when you see a chiropractor, it's like, okay, you have to continue seeing a chiropractor in order for the benefits to stay. Like as soon as you you can't just like go once and it's like, oh, everything's fixed. It's like, you have to keep going. Like that's something that has been,
Usually it's one time.
I think it depends on the person.
I don't
Right?
think
But
so.
from what I've heard, a lot of people say like, you have to keep going back.
That's not true.
Don't you try and gaslight me.
It's
all right?
literally, they crack your back and you're done.
Have you been there?
No.
Okay.
I have friends who've gone to chiropractors.
It would be a good chiropractor. Bane.
Bang.
Bane.
Oh, Bane.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah, you
he's
really
like a bad chiropractor. He broke his back.
I mean, if he didn't break it, then he wouldn't have business.
It's like the firefighter lights the fires.
Exactly.
Just like has his assistant drop kick your back, and then you just go into the room.
At nighttime, he's Bane. That's his. He moonlights as Bane, so he can get business during the day as a chiropractor.
Yeah.
He's like anti-Batman. It's like Batman if Batman caused the crimes that he goes and fights.
Right.
Like imagine Batman, crusading against Bruce Wayne.
Okay. Yeah.
Which would be interesting. Imagine Bruce.
That would be.
Would that mean that Bruce Wayne would have to become
It's
he's
Bruce
a
Wayne foiled me again. He's not here.
He's a mobster.
I guess so.
He runs the Gotham Mafia, and then little do all the mafia members know he's also Batman. They're like, hey, They're like in a like huge meeting. He's like, yeah, I'm gonna go to the bathroom real quick. I'll be right back. And then Batman just busts in. Like the third meeting, they're like, hey, have you guys ever noticed that when Batman comes in, Bruce Wayne's never around?
Somebody check the bathroom right now.
And Batman's just like, oh wait,
He's like running in front of the door.
don't go to the bathroom. Beating the shit out of him, like, runs in the bathroom. He's like, Bruce Wayne. And comes out and he's like, what's going on?
Guys, he's not in there.
He's still got like the cape on. He's like,
tucking in his shirt.
All right.
Oh,
Good start. Anything big going on that you can think of?
do you mean just like worldly? There's a lot of big stuff going on in the world.
What's going on in the world? I've been trapped in a dark room. Like literally, I was trapped in a dark room.
That's true. You literally were.
Yeah.
I always am.
I mean, it was only 4 days, but it wasn't all 4 days. I'm just going to leave it at that. I'm not going to expound upon it. I'm going to leave it so vague for everybody listening.
Maybe it was like one of those darkness retreats.
I do think that'd be really cool to do.
I feel like I could easily ace one of those.
I feel like I could too. I don't think it'd be that bad. Or I just come out insane, which is also fun.
That would be.
I think it'd be so fun to be
I
insane.
co-host this with a guy who's just like in a straitjacket.
Well, I'm already insane, and this is a figment of my imagination.
Oh, yeah. Like all...
Which would be very disappointing. To just know that like the grand fantasy that I come up with is hosting a podcast with a guy with a mustache.
What? What's wrong with that? That'd be my fantasy.
Apollo at work, he asked me what I would do if I was president, and I was like, I don't know what I would do. I was like, are you just talking like following the rules of presidency, or like as in like I'm a man of power and can do whatever I want?
Mm-hmm.
And he's like, would you take out Jack? And I was like, I don't know. And he's like, what if Jack found a way to duplicate himself? I was like, oh no, I didn't. I would sick the U.S. military on him. Like we'd pour all resources. I was like, we cannot have a world where Jack can clone himself.
I'll go to an island. We'll populate the island with a bunch of Jacks, and then we will attack.
The island of Jack. If you just stayed on the island, like you and all your fellow Jacks,
see, we couldn't. We would be
That's
so
the thing.
cocky that we could dominate the world.
There'd have to be like a force field, like a shield that like as soon as you guys try to cross, you just disintegrate.
Yeah.
But it'd be like we'd be able to send like anthropologists in to like observe the wild the Jacks in the
people
wild.
like watch like filming us.
Just like floating cameras. Do you think it'd be like Lord of the Flies? Like if you guys were left, if you and fellow Jacks were left on an island, do you think you just start like killing each other for like dominance?
I don't know. Is there a dominant Jack? I feel like we all would be dominant.
I feel like you have to.
It would be either we would live in like perfect like harmony, or there would only ever be one Jack, and he would always kill when the next duplicate shows up.
If you're all dominant, then that would mean that you're all fighting for you're all like, no, I'm the dominant one. And you're like, no, I'm the dominant one. I feel like you get like a grace period.
Well, you wrote me into this.
Like you get a grace period of like, oh yeah, this is cool. Like we're all like the same. But then you're like, oh, wait, we're all the same. You're like, no, there can't be people like me.
We'd be so cocky. I feel like with 1,000 Jacks, I could probably take over like a decent sized country.
1,000 Jacks. I feel like you would take it over, but it wouldn't be through like political like.
I feel like we could just take over the capital with 1,000
You would just sabotage the country so badly.
Crippling everything.
You would cripple society. And I do think that that's accomplishable. I think that's one of the first times where I'm like,
okay,
you said something that I'm like, yeah, I think that would happen. I think 1,000 Jacks would topple a country.
Yeah.
What do you think is like a country that you could think of that's like maximum size you could take down?
Maximum size
or take over?
Russia. Because most of it is mountains. So like what we do is we go and we like shank a few people in a town, then we like run up in the mountain.
Wow, I did not imagine you guys just shanking people. Great to know that that's around up there.
What?
You just run
up in
also,
the mountains.
I love that your master scheme to take over a country is to stab people and then run into mountains.
But then they'd have to send the military in the mountain, and we'd have like Rambo traps up there.
Rambo traps.
Yeah.
How do you know that it's Russia? You think they're gonna care about you stabbing some random civilians?
Like a police officer, maybe. Like, shake, and then we just run.
You're just stabbing everyday people. That had nothing to do with the running of the company.
It's crippling the infrastructure of a country would kill a bunch of people too. We're killing less people.
I'm less confident that 1,000 Czechs could take over. If that's your master scheme,
that's our plan in Russia. That's our plan in Russia. You know.
Just running into the, it's like running on. Everybody's like, "What the hell?" And they're like, "Hey, that man just stabbed her." Just running into the mountains.
He stabbed someone in my town earlier.
Hey, that's that Jack. That's one of those Jacks.
Get him.
As soon as you'd appear in public after like a couple stabbings, they just start beating the shit. It's Russia. They beat the shit out of you.
See, there's duplicate Jacks, so we could like force some Jacks to shave their mustaches for the cause.
That Jack would go insane.
You think so?
That Jack.
It wouldn't be me. It'd be some other duplicate.
It would be you. It'd just be a different you.
But we'd force him.
He'd go insane. A Jack cannot live without a mustache.
Yeah, that's true. That's why he's the best. He goes insane, then he just like dominates a country by himself or something.
An insane Jack can dominate the country. I feel like it's kind of like orcs in Lord of the Rings. You know, they used to be like elves, but then they're like corrupted. Like a mustacheless Jack is the orc. Just like killing needlessly. Just bashing people. Like as soon as you shave his mustache, he just grabs the Jack's head and just starts bashing it in. You're like, it is done. Oh man,
I smell Jack blood.
The mythology of a Jack society.
It's ideal.
Does that mean though that if somebody figured out a way to like implant a mustache onto like an orc Jack face, that they then would like be able to halt your progress?
You think he's just an orc Jack for like a month or two while the mustache grows back? Then he's just like back to Jack.
He's just like, oh my god. He's just like hands covered in blood. He just murdered a family. He's like, what have I done? What have I done? And then another Jack comes in. He's like, oh no, and like shaves his mustache off, and he just bashes that Jack's head. Oh. The moment of clarity. Just like, oh my god, all the horror, like all the memories are still there of like everything that he's done.
Yeah. Why would I ever do this?
And like if you started growing, like if you weren't able to shave the mustache grows back and you weren't able to shave it back off, that Jack would then have like a vendetta against the Jacks running things. And so then it would just crumble from the inside.
Yeah. There's just a Jack running around just like killing a bunch of other Jacks. And all other Jacks are just like so worried.
A Jack Batman that kills other Jacks.
I'm vengeance. It's just me just beating someone up.
What do you think your Batman, a Jack Batman outfit would look like?
Well, it'd look like it'd be the bat symbol, but it would just be a big mustache.
Not like you are Batman, but like a vigilante.
What would it look like?
Yeah. I guess the mustache thing would still work. I didn't hear that part. I just heard you say Batman again.
A mustache orang.
A mustache orang. Would it just tickle him? It's like,
I just throw a bunch of like hairs at him. You're just like,
you throw the mustache ring and it just like grazes their cheek and they're like, oh.
It always lands like on their upper lip.
Then you like throw like mustache, like beard oil on the ground and then like slip and fall. Like, whoa. 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 And I mean, alcohol would have to be present in some way.
Well, he'd be always drunk.
Yeah, he'd just always be drunk.
You just see this guy show up with like a Batman outfit. He's just like stumbling around.
It's like one of those. Oh wait, that's in a movie. Is it? I think Jackie Chan's in the movie where he's like this drunk bumbling fool, but he's able to like fight as like a drunk bumbling fool. Like he stumbles around and it just like happens to go his way.
Okay.
I feel like that would be what we're talking about here. Where you just
Yes.
like stumble around and like things just happen to go your way.
Or maybe it never goes his way. Maybe they all just like look at him.
They
He's like
immediately
he
beat the
thinks
shit
he's like
out of him.
fighting people, and they're just like he's just fighting with that like scarecrow again.
Beating the shit out of him. All right. What do you think the difference between a Jack Superman and a Jack Batman would be?
Well, they both would kill.
Do you think? Whoa! Nobody asked for that. Nobody asked for that to happen.
Well,
you just immediately offered that.
I was just saying because that sometimes the difference between them is Superman. Sometimes he kills inadvertently.
If it's for the greater good,
but
I'll just vaporize.
Batman doesn't kill, but they both would.
Do you think that the difference would be like Batman Jack is the drunk Jack and Superman's the sober Jack?
Superman Jack would want world domination so bad because he would.
So he wanted so bad that he's willing to give up alcohol. Is that what you're saying?
Yes. He's willing to go sober to take over the world.
I was just about to ask, I was like, what do you think a sober Jack would be like? Do you think he'd be like a better human being, a better civilized human being? Now I know that I need to keep me drunk, keep you drunk, keep you in a daze.
I'm like Bender in Futurama. If I get too sober, you're like, he's got to get another drink soon.
Okay.
Because Superman Jack would be so cocky because of all those superpowers.
So you don't think it's the alcohol that makes you like that?
Cocky? I was born with that.
I was born this way. All right, now I now fear a world where Jack becomes Superman and sober.
Do you think the Alex duplicates, you would just live in harmony?
Yeah, I don't know. I couldn't imagine meeting another Alex. It'd be, I don't know. That'd be weird. Be real weird. I feel like for you, I feel like you've imagined a society of Jacks.
Yeah. I mean,
like that's kind of like your dream.
The dream, yeah. It's
for me. I'm like, I don't even want to think about like a society of Alexes. I don't know. I feel like it could be hit or miss. Like it could be real bad or real good. It could be real bad.
What would be the bad? Wow, like how would it turn bad?
Oh man. Like the darker side of Alex would be like compounded. Yeah, no, you don't want that. You don't want that. 'Cause I got like an anger problem. Like I don't let it show, but I do. So
from the few stories where you like talk about, like, yeah, I could see it.
Yeah. I think it shines through sometimes. If I get into a heated argument that like I take seriously, you can start to see like, okay, I need to back off because Alex is getting pissed off.
I need to not be Jack right now because I'm making this worse.
I do think there's been conversations where I'm like, oh, I'm getting a little angry with Jack.
I've been like, oh, like I just keep going. Sometimes I don't realize that I'm like, oh yeah, like I do make it worse all the time.
I love the line of like, are we just joking or are we getting to the point where it's like an actual argument? Because I'll question sometimes. I'm like, are we arguing or are we joking? And it's about something super stupid.
Yeah, I'm always joking because like my goal is just to always like spout bullshit.
I feel like underneath, I'm like, okay, this is a joke, but sometimes I'm just like, no, he's fucking wrong.
I feel like I make people that way.
It's kind of like
everybody gets that way. With
I
me.
think of it like an arm wrestling match where there's like competition. At least on my end, it's like, okay, we're joking around, but I still have to win. I still have to come out on top. I have to be the one who wins this argument. And you'll keep going. So it's just like, I still haven't won. Tap out, Jack. Tap out.
I will never tap out. I always assume I'm right, and I can always make up stuff to make me seem right.
Like in a world where we don't have senses of humor, we'd be a very bad combination.
We would, yes.
We would constantly be like in arguments. It would be like we would just be terrible to work with.
Yes.
I feel like.
Yes.
Be like, Jack and Alex, they're fighting again.
Guys, they're fighting a whole shift.
Yeah. That's the difference. That's the difference between a sense of humor and not having a sense of humor. That's the importance of a sense of humor.
Because otherwise, everybody's just fighting.
Mm-hmm.
That's why I don't think the Jacks would have a sense of humor with each other.
I don't think Alex's could joke around with each other very well.
Actually, no, I think Jacks would joke around a lot with each other.
Yeah.
We would all, because I think I'm really funny, so I would say a joke and every Jack would laugh at it.
See, sometimes I make a joke and I'm like, oh man, that was stupid. I hate myself. So like if I heard somebody, although I don't know, if it was another person, I'm always more, I always treat other people better. So I don't know. It'd be like, do I treat myself like I treat myself or do I treat myself like another human being?
Right.
That's like dark and serious. It's like some dark, serious stuff right there.
That is.
That's like why I'm going to therapy.
And I don't need it because I just always think I'm funny.
I don't think I'm funny. Like in therapy, I'm like, I don't think I'm funny.
And the therapist just like laughing at that, just like, that was a good one.
I don't know, you're pretty funny. I'm like, oh man, she's laughing at me, not with me.
No.
I'm like committed right now. I'm like, how long can we leave it in silence until Jack gets uncomfortable but can't think of anything to say?
I can always think of something to say.
Oh no, you're getting real. You're kind of looking concerned there for a second with the awkward silence. This is real bad for listeners. You just said that you could think of something to say.
I'm thinking
like which way are you trying? Are you trying to beat me in a stare off like a silent?
I haven't decided.
Or are you gonna try and
haven't decided.
Conversation.
I got more Oscar picks right than you.
Whoa. That is not what this podcast is.
Sorry. Whoa.
All right. We can talk about Oscars. That's a good conversation. All right. What do you think was like the win that surprised you the most?
I was gonna say the Anatomy of a Fall winning was that adapted or was that original? That was original.
Yeah, because American Fiction won adapted. Which now that I think about it, is it adapted from a novel? Is that what it's adapted from?
I guess I would assume so.
Yeah, I didn't
realize that. Yeah, I figured Oppenheimer should have won adapted.
I had a feeling American Fiction was going to. It's tough because I love Oppenheimer as a movie, and I know Christopher Nolan. Actually, I don't know if Nolan himself co-wrote. I would assume that his brother wrote Oppenheimer, because usually it's either he co-writes with his brother or his brother just writes the script. Usually,
I think it was almost just Christopher. I thought for this one,
maybe. I don't know. I haven't read it yet.
I figured it would because it had that like the first person, like the subjective and the objective.
I don't know. Screenplays are a lot different. It's hard to tell from watching a movie how good the screenplay is comparative to other screenplays. Like there's a difference between like I haven't seen American Fiction, but just hypothetically, like Oppenheimer is a better movie than American Fiction, but like American Fiction has a better screen.
Right. Okay.
That's part of the reason why the awards are broken down into all the different categories. But yeah, I'm not as surprised by Stone winning over Lily Gladstone for actress.
Yeah.
But still, it's just like, wow, did not expect that.
If Lily had more to do, she probably should have been in supporting. She probably would have won supporting.
Who won actress? Oh, Devine.
Yeah.
I could see Lily Gladstone taking that. I mean, I didn't see
because she just wasn't in that movie a ton compared to like Emma Stone, who ran the movie.
Yeah, they really hyped up Lily Gladstone's like role in that movie.
Yeah,
and then you watch the movie and it's like, oh, they don't really give her much to do. It's very much DiCaprio and De Niro for that movie. And they're both despicable people in that movie.
I love it.
I'm not sold. I'm pretty happy DiCaprio didn't get nominated.
No,
right? Yeah.
De Niro did.
Which I didn't. I know a lot of people like really liked his performance. That's one of my least favorite DiCaprio performances.
I liked that performance.
Yeah, I think
because it gave me Once Upon a Time in Hollywood vibes.
See, I didn't get that because I loved Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. I think the difference was that like I don't know. Maybe it's part of the reason is that I hate the person that he's playing.
So stupid.
Because at least in Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, like Rick Dalton is kind of an asshole,
Yeah.
but like he's a lovable asshole.
Yeah, yeah.
I don't like DiCaprio's character in Killers of the Flower Moon at all. But that's not even, I don't know, because I mean, I love his role in Django. And obviously, he's a terrible human being in Django.
Yeah. He plays a great villain.
He definitely should have won an Oscar for his role in Django.
Yes.
Yeah, no, I would take his Django performance. I would take Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. Those are two of my favorite performances from him. I love his role in Inception. Revenant, of course, is great. What's another? Departed. I haven't seen Departed in a while, but
he's really good in that too.
I read a list, I think it was from Collider. It was a ranking of all 95 Best Picture winners.
Okay.
That was interesting because it also would give like what they thought should have won, like looking back in hindsight for that year.
Yeah.
So it was interesting to go through some of those. It's also interesting to see like what movies, the difference between like the last couple Best Picture winners and the rest of history of Best Picture winners. Because outside of like the last few years, certain movies never won. Like your genre type movies, like an Everything Everywhere All at Once or a Parasite.
Yeah.
Or Shape of Water. Like those would not have won back in the day. It's surprising that Return of the King was even able to win.
I know.
And also very surprising that Dark Knight could not even get nominated. Yeah.
They put an alternate, like what should have won for every single year, or just for the years that they
would
thought
put
something
what
else
should have won, but it wasn't always a different movie. Like some of the good ones, they would be like, yeah, it should have won this year. Some of them were surprising when it would be like, this movie shouldn't have won. And I was like, oh no, I think the movie.
I know, yeah. I bet there's a few.
But there's some steep competitions for a lot of the movies. So I feel like, I know they didn't, for Slumdog Millionaire, they had a different one, but Dark Knight wasn't nominated that year. So it wasn't Dark Knight because they only took out of the nominees. I think. Or am I misremembering that? Like I brought this up, I was like, oh, I could talk about this article, and then I'm like trying to think about the article. I'm like, I don't remember anything from this article. Yeah, I know that. One of the things I saw was it talked about Hoffman's performance at Rainmaker, and it said they didn't think that it held up. Or Rainmaker.
Really, they didn't think that held up?
Yeah, they said that it felt more like a imitation. Like he was just imitating and not actually playing a role. And like it didn't feel like a person. It felt like he was just acting, which I could see, but I still felt like Hoffman put in.
It was really good, I thought.
Yeah. I think it's just part of the difference of that time to now in terms of how it is in terms of, so that time was very much like actors playing mentally handicapped characters. Cause I mean, that's kind of how DiCaprio got his start, was in What's Eating Gilbert Grape.
Yeah. And there was like Flowers for Algernon with Matthew Modine.
Yeah, and even stretching into like the early 2000s with A Beautiful Mind, which was one that they said definitely shouldn't have won in hindsight. I can't remember. There was something really good that came out that year, like a couple of them. And I was like, yeah. Or I think it was Fellowship of the Ring.
Oh, okay.
Or Fellowship of the Ring. of a Ring. Yeah, I think that they had said that one should have won that year, which I could agree with. I haven't seen A Beautiful Mind.
I haven't either.
But I know that they were critiquing how it deviates a lot from his actual life and gets kind of off the rails. Still gave Crowe props for his performance, though. Which I do like Russell Crowe, so I do want to watch it. Love Russell Crowe.
I like old Russell Crowe. He isn't always in good things now. He chooses some interesting stuff, but
I think he's still a good actor. It's just, he doesn't pick the best. But I mean, Nice Guys was only 2016, and that's one of my favorite.
Then there's like Pope's Exorcist and Unhinged.
Which I don't know. I've heard from a lot of people that Pope's Exorcist isn't that bad.
It's terrible. It is. I don't know who says that.
But I think it's also like it's a so bad it's good type thing. I don't know.
It was just bad.
Madam Web, Dakota Johnson admitted that
I saw that.
She didn't expect much from that and that she would not repeat that process. It's interesting. Like that, like I had thought, like with Dakota Johnson, I was like, she usually picks some pretty good stuff. Like she's in, I don't know, it's like hit or miss. Like sometimes she's in some good things, sometimes she's in some not so good things. But I always felt like if she's in something bad, it's like, I know I'm in something bad. I'm just getting a paycheck.
Right.
But she also said like it originally started as something different than it was, which happens, I think, to a lot of actors. Where like they read a script and like, okay, this sounds good, and then they get in the process, and the studio is just all over it.
I'm sure Sony has a firm grip on all those movies.
Yeah, it seems like it from the products that they put out. So.
Yes,
it's been I don't know. I cannot believe Spider-Verse made it out of as being a good one, because it's been a long while since they've had a good live action Spider-Man movie or related.
Yeah,
I can't think of the last superhero movie that was good from Sony. Outside of Spider-Verse as an animated one.
Yeah. It would have been Far From Home.
Which isn't even technically Sony, because it's MCU.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, like I'm speaking like Sony-verse type movies.
Yeah, it's been a long time.
I guess I haven't watched Venom, but I've heard it's okay.
It's all right.
Yeah, I'm sure Tom Hardy carries it.
Yeah. If it wasn't Tom Hardy, it probably wouldn't have gotten anything else, a sequel or anything.
I feel like it was. I can't think of it. No, Sony. That was Fox. Never mind. Fox did X-Men.
Yeah.
So yeah, I feel like it had to have been Maguire's Spider-Man.
Yeah.
I didn't like Garfield.
It was okay, but yeah.
I liked it when I was younger, but then like looking back, I'm like
Spider-Man 2 is like the best thing they've put out.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and then Spider-Man 3 it's not as bad in hindsight. I know it's been a while since I've watched it.
Doesn't hold up as well.
I do. It's kind of like almost like a Revenge of the Sith, where like there are some parts that are bad, but it's like it became a meme, so you kind of like it. Yeah. It's got like that, and also Maguire, the Raimi trilogy, like it's so cheesy, so corny.
It is.
Like I'll go and rewatch it, and I'm like, ooh, some of this is like really corny. And then the CGI doesn't always hold up.
That's early CGI.
Yeah. I prefer Evil Dead Maguire's Spider-Man in terms of Raimi's movies.
Yeah.
Really getting into movies.
Hey, we watch a lot, you know.
Yeah. It's surprising that we've been able to kind of hold back.
I know.
A little bit. I mean, we wrote screenplays, but
oh yeah.
Yeah,
those were really good.
I remember when we were starting the podcast, and Luke's like, "Don't just make it a movie."
Yeah,
which I didn't want to, but at the same time, I do want movies are a thing that I love.
I really like. Did you see the speech from the writer of American Fiction?
No, I didn't see any of the speeches.
His was really talking about like, you know, I'm glad that they made this like $200 million movie, but we should make like, you know, maybe like $10-20 million movies, or, you know, a bunch of
lowering the budget.
Yeah, like try and give a lot more movies to people who kind of deserve it and give them their start. And
yeah, I saw an article headline. I read a lot of headlines. I don't always read the articles, because sometimes I'm like, okay, like the headline's interesting, but I don't really care about going in further depth. But then you'll say something, and I'm like, oh, that reminds me of this, and it was talking about mainly because I already got everything I needed to out of it, which was, it was saying like Dune 2 is an example of budgets being so inflated nowadays, which I wouldn't want to cut back a movie like Dune 2's budget, but putting it like that, I could see like, yeah, not every movie needs a huge budget. And that's part of the reason why smaller movies don't get made. It's because like, we're not going to invest like a large budget in a movie that isn't going to make anything. But it's like, just invest like the budget of what it's going to make.
Some directors have done really good things because they had a bit of a tighter budget. I mean, Jaws, you know?
Yeah. And some of the directors do well with a big budget. It just doesn't commercially hit because it's not a commercial. Like Babylon was a great movie.
Yeah.
But it's not something that does commercially well because it's not a broad audience.
Yeah. Damien Chazelle isn't like I don't even know, like a summer blockbuster kind of guy.
Like you have to know who he is and like films.
Yeah.
And specifically films that he's made in the past.
Yes.
It's not like some like family of 5, middle class family that watches movies on like the weekends is gonna necessarily like, especially not with the kids.
Yes.
Not that movie.
No. Or most of his probably.
Yeah. I don't know. It's interesting to see how the movie landscape's gonna turn from here, because you can definitely feel the superhero movies getting pulled back, and those types of, not just MCU specific, but like superhero kind of like feel, like a Fast and Furious.
Yeah,
always kind of had like always had like a superhero blockbuster, like that big quippy action movie that's super dependent upon CGI and big names. Like, it's not really making as much as it used to in the box office.
No, especially like the MCU, especially movies are not making it.
Yeah. But also at the same time, you see movies like a Beekeeper doing pretty well.
Yeah.
Which isn't necessarily my taste in movies. I haven't watched it. But it's nice to see a movie that isn't like over the top. That's just kind of like,
Yeah, like it knows what it is.
it's just like a middle of the road type movie that knows what it is.
Yeah.
Like you said, it's nice to see that can pull now, because that's kind of like the movies that carry between the blockbusters.
Right.
And it helps.
It's how the studios and theaters all keep going.
Yeah, it helps the theater industry between big blockbusters, especially now that blockbusters are flopping more often. At least I feel like. I don't know.
We feel it where we are a little bit more.
But even on like in America in general, I just don't have the exact numbers, so I don't know that it's worse than it's ever been. But it definitely feels like blockbusters are flopping a lot more. Both sometimes like good or decently made blockbusters and just poorly made ones.
Mm-hmm.
Like I don't think that like Marvel's was a fun movie. Like it had its flaws.
Yeah.
But like the fact that it flopped so hard,
it was crazy.
Yeah.
Because there's been some worse MCU movies that made a lot more money in the last few years.
Yep. And then you got like a Madam Web.
Yeah.
That you know, and honestly, that did pretty well for us. Like at least initially. And people would walk out of it being like, I really like that movie. And I'm like, okay. I haven't seen it, but I don't plan on seeing it.
That sounds like our audience.
Yeah. I don't know. I think Dune
deserves the budget. I don't think it could work because the CGI needs to be perfect for that.
That is the reason the movie works so well.
Yeah.
Is because of the massive budget. Like that's the type of movie that a studio should make a big swing on.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like Lord of the Rings in a way, because it's based off this very prestigious novel that wasn't really necessarily something people believed could be adapted to screen.
Right.
Because it would take such a big budget. But it worked because it got that budget and had a visionary director who was able to, like, it's one of those things that's extremely hard to do. Like, I think Denis makes it look easy with Dune.
Yeah.
Jackson makes it look a little easy with Lord of the Rings, but obviously I could see why studios are hesitant to do something like that. Just look at the original Dune.
Yeah.
But like when you do knock it out of the park on one of those, like it's more than just making money. It helps just culturally.
Yeah.
Like this is something, I think Dune is now something that's going to be remembered.
Oh, it's a big part of the pop culture for sure. Yeah.
In years to come, it's going to be like, man, I can't believe these movies were made.
Yeah.
Like they're so good.
It'll have that almost Lord of the Rings feel when you look back on like this
or like
huge
the
scale.
Original Star Wars trilogy.
Yeah.
Like, where it's just like, Yep. Trying to think of some other movies. I know there was a period where I was like, man, kind of seeing how like a Bullet Train, I think was one that was a good indication, because that did pretty well box office wise, was way better than I expected.
Oh yeah. That was a really good, fun movie.
Although I don't know, because I thought it was like a signifier of kind of a trend along the lines of like kind of the John Wick or the Kingsman. But then you have something like Argyle, which just flopped pretty hard. I think Fall Guy will be the one that kind of shows whether or not that type of movie can. I mean, Beekeeper's kind of.
I think Fall Guy will do well because of just the cast.
Yeah.
Like Emily Blunt and Ryan Gosling have a lot of pull.
I mean, Argyle had a good cast.
Yeah.
It had a very good cast. Because I love Sam Rockwell.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. He's fantastic.
Henry Cavill, if he had gotten more screen time. And even Bryce Dallas Howard.
I like Bryce Dallas Howard, yeah.
I really loved her in her Black Mirror episode. That's one of my favorite TV episodes of all time.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I guess Beekeeper's kind of in that vein too, though, of like quippy action.
Yeah.
I know I just said
it has that like kind of Guy Ritchie like kind of feel to it.
It's Guy Ritchie, I think, is kind of along those lines, or God, I can't think of the director of John Wick. I don't think I even memorize his name.
I don't remember his name.
And then Argyle and Kingsman were
I'm not gonna get his either. Is that Matthew something?
Matthew Vaughn. Yep. Like those three, I feel like kind of have that style like that. And I think that's the thing that made it so interesting to me was that it was so stylized.
Right.
Like it's similar, but you can tell which ones are each other's. I don't know. It was an interesting genre to me to see. Action in general, I think, is having a good year.
Yes.
It's going to have a good year.
Had a really good year last year, too. I mean, John McFour and some of the other things that came out. I couldn't think of anything else. But like, John McFour came to mind.
One movie.
John McFour was really good.
I did love John McFour. Oh, Bullet Train came out last year. That was another, what we were just talking about. But yeah, with Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes and Furiosa still down the line, and Deadpool. Because Deadpool, like, the comedy is obviously always great, but the action in Deadpool is pretty good in that series.
I think we'll see some really fun stuff with Wolverine, too.
I know that you're not a huge fan of Deadpool for some reason. Yeah, you got that one. I don't know. Do you think that it's a little too soon to say Dune is front runner for Best Picture? Do you even think it'll be nominated? Because I don't think the first one was.
I don't think it was either. I would assume it would be.
I think I'd be curious because I definitely think it's one that in the past would not have been nominated.
No. Although I don't know, like the cast like is so star-studded and everybody like they gave such a good performance.
Oh, Chalamet's so good in that.
So good.
So Butler is fantastic. I think I could see him being in the running for supporting. Chalamet maybe as lead.
Yeah.
I don't know if I put anybody else in conversation of Oscars from that movie.
Skarsgård, possibly.
Yeah, but then it'd be supporting. I don't see them getting 2 nods for that.
Yeah. Although I mean, like Nyad this year got a supporting and lead actress.
No, I meant in the same category.
Yeah, I think that's happened before, but
yeah, but I don't know if they do it for a Dune.
Yeah. I'm trying to think what else this year
that is where I think that we would be overhyping the movie if we said that it's already kind of iffy. But if we're saying they're getting 2 in category,
it would be Butler for sure.
Yeah. Yeah, it'll be interesting because I think Furiosa. I don't know if it'd be nominated for Best Picture, but it'll definitely have a run at the Oscars and other categories. Potentially bad. Mad Max Fury Road was one that they had for. I can't remember what won in 2015.
I can't think of what would have won.
No, that wasn't Green Book, was it?
No,
Green Book was.
So. 2015, wouldn't that have been something like The Shape of Water or Moonlight?
I think Shape of Water was 16. No. 17. Because I think Get Out was the one that Collider said would have been a better option.
Okay.
Or they would pick now.
Yeah.
But yeah, Fury Road definitely should have been in. He probably won that year. But then you got like, was it Megalopolis?
Megalopolis, yeah.
Megalopolis.
That is supposed to be this year. That's
interesting.
Right. I would assume that would.
Yeah. I think that one would. You still got Nosferatu. It's supposed to come out this year.
Right.
I forgot about that one.
I could definitely see that.
I don't know about Best Picture. I'd have to see the movie before
I would assume it's going to be amazing. Robert Eggers always does a fantastic job.
Yeah, but none of his other movies have been nominated. So. Yeah,
which is surprising.
Yeah, Northman was
so good.
But also that was a very good year of movies.
That was.
Because that was Everything Everywhere at Once. So I wouldn't pick Northman over Everything Everywhere at Once as a winner. Yeah.
Oh yeah, I can't think of anything else this year that would be big. Because Planet of the Apes wouldn't.
I think
with 10 years, it's not 10 years. With 10 nominees now, I could see a few things slipping in there just because.
Yeah, but they did that to pull in some of the smaller movies. I feel like.
Yeah.
No, I think Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes for visual effects and all that type of stuff for sure. But I don't see anything else. I mean, I don't even think there would be a possibility because they don't really. I don't think they nominate mocap actors like at all.
No, I don't think so.
It should just be its own category.
Yeah.
And
I'm glad they're adding the casting. I think that's an interesting category.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, that'll be next year.
That'd be interesting. Yeah.
I feel like they should do a stunt category. I feel like that'd be a really interesting one.
I think they need to do mocap and they need to legacy Andy Serkis as
that man needs
Oh, the fact that he wasn't able to win for
any of his amazing.
Yeah, Golem, Caesar.
Yeah.
Even his performance as Star Wars.
As the guy.
God dang it, what's his name?
No,
I really was hoping that you'd help me.
Not at all. Those movies are just.
Oh, it was like there, and now it's gone. But yeah, that guy.
I mean, technically, it's Palpatine, right? Because it wasn't a Palpatine clone thing, you know.
We don't have to go in that. Let's not bring the podcast down here. Yeah. I think this will be a good year. It's been a good run of movies, I think, post-pandemic.
Yeah.
Like I don't think it's been as much. I know it hasn't been. America just straight up hasn't released as many movies. Nowhere near. I don't even think it's half of what it was releasing per year before the pandemic. But some of my favorite movies have come out in like the last 3 years.
There's been fantastic movies.
3 or 4 years. I guess. No, Dune was post. Yeah, Dune was post-pandemic.
Yeah, that was 21.
Dune, even Tenet. I really love Tenet.
Yeah.
That one's controversial to some people.
Yeah.
I love
the dumb people.
Tenet. Well, we don't have to go that far.
You are dumb if you don't like Tenet.
Like Tenet,
Oppenheimer, I mean.
Dune, Oppenheimer, Nope, Batman, Northman was even out. Everything Everywhere All at Once.
Yeah. Whale, Fablemans.
Whale's good, yeah. I wouldn't put Fablemans as one of my all-time grades.
Maybe not all-time, but I really like that in the last few years. I enjoyed that.
Dune Part 2.
Trying to think what else we saw.
I think Furiosa is definitely going to be in there.
Yeah.
I'm just going to assume that. As long as it's anywhere close to Fury Road or in the same vein of Fury Road, which I don't see it not being. So
no. Wicked.
Wicked smart. I feel like there's definitely a movie in there that is like glaringly big that I just cannot think of.
In the last 4 years?
Mm-hmm. Well, Across the Spider-Verse. That's up there. That's a pretty good movie. I haven't rewatched it, but...
Did you have a Boy and the Heron or Across the Spider-Verse for animated?
Boy and the Heron.
Yeah.
I mean, I thought it was going to be close. It was close to my mind, but also not that close because I was like, it's got to be Boy and the Heron. That's another one that was really good.
Yeah.
That would be up there for me in movies. I don't know. It's just been really good. And even before the pandemic, because Knives Out came out, Parasite came out. Those are two movies that I really love. Little Women, Once Upon a Time, was a good one.
Yeah.
Not my favorite Tarantino.
That's my favorite. I love that.
A lot of people say that, and it surprises me. And it's purely because of the ending. And like everybody agrees, like the ending is great.
Is that why? I love that whole movie.
I like a lot of the movie. And I haven't rewatched in a while. Maybe I changed my mind. I tend to do that, especially with Tarantino movies when I rewatch them. Because Inglourious Basterds used to be like one of my least favorites.
Really?
Wow. Yeah, I didn't really like it that much when I first watched it. And I wasn't a huge fan of Pulp Fiction either when I first watched it.
Dang. I'm not the biggest fan of the Gold Watch section, but...
Oh, I like it.
I like the Christopher Walken part, but I'm not a huge fan of all the Bruce Willis stuff. It's all right.
I like his stuff at the end when he's got his samurai sword and... interacting with
the fun line. Yeah. About to go medieval on his ass.
Zed's dead, baby. Zed's dead. But yeah, no, I originally like Hateful Eight was like the first Tarantino movie I ever saw too.
Oh,
but so I guess it probably had that, and I love westerns, the western feel. So yeah, that movie was up there. Django was up there for a while, and now it's kind of shuffled. I would say Inglourious Basterds and Pulp Fiction are now probably my top two.
Okay.
But yeah, Once Upon a Time, it's just kind of there. It's definitely, I like it a lot more than Kill Bill. Kill Bill is probably my least favorite that I've seen. I started part 2, and that was the first time where I started watching a Tarantino movie, and I was like, I don't like this at all. I did not like how it was crafted. Jackie Brown's kind of, it's good.
I haven't seen it in a long time. I have to rewatch that.
Like, I don't think Kill Bill is bad. I just don't think it. Not only do I not think it's as good as everybody else tends to. People tend to really love Kill Bill, but I just comparative to his other works, like Reservoir Dogs is great too.
Yeah. Once again, like a really low budget and director being able to do a lot.
Yep. It's also crazy whenever, I thought about this watching like Fargo, and I think I brought this up, but Steve Buscemi in the 90s, in the movies that he was in, and how fantastic those movies are.
Yes.
Reservoir Dogs, Big Lebowski, Fargo, Like, those are some great movies.
And he was in Sopranos as well.
Oh, the show. Yeah. I was thinking movies, and I was like, there's not a Sopranos movie. Yeah.
Yeah, he gets associated with some good stuff.
He's a great actor. I feel like he hasn't... It's been a little while since I've seen him in anything. I can't think of anything that he's been in. I know he was in Grown Ups. He like is either in like this very prestigious great movie where he shows off his acting chops, or he's in like this good comedy, but it's like very like slapsticky type comedy.
I don't even remember him in Grown Ups. It's been a long time since I've seen that.
All I remember is that he does the zip line scene.
Really?
Where he goes upside down and then he ends up in a cast because he runs into a wall. And it's been a long time since I watched Grown Ups, but I loved that movie as a kid. Yeah. Are any other big movies coming down the pipeline? Mickey 17 next year is interesting.
Yeah.
Bong Joon-ho is first go since Parasite, and it's got Arpat.
Yeah.
Love Arpat.
Batman 2, I would assume next year, the year after.
Yeah, that'll be a good one. I'm really excited to see Lady Gaga in that.
Joker 2 as well, yeah. Joker full.
Oh, sorry. I was thinking Joker 2. Both of those will be interesting.
I would assume, is Joker 2 this year?
It might be, honestly. That'd be, if it is, that could be in the running for Best Picture.
Yeah.
I don't know. That's hard to say right now. I don't know. Musical can go very sideways, but it sounds very good to me. And I really loved Lady Gaga in House of Gucci. I think she should have been put up for the Academy that year. I don't know who the nominees were.
That was that 22?
I think that was before I went to South Carolina, so it was 2021.
21.
Yeah, it was just before I went. Yeah, no, she was fantastic in that movie. House of Gucci was really good.
Mm-hmm. And Ridley had Last Duel that year as well, right?
Yeah, both of them. I liked both of them.
Yeah.
I really hope that the extended cut of Napoleon is better. Yeah. If he can get it to even release. If it's even
out there, yeah.
I mean, he usually can get his director cuts released.
Because sometimes they're better than the original.
And I could see that being a movie where it could make it better. Because I feel like he cut some of the serious stuff out to put the comedy in. Yeah. Or even if it is more comedy, I think it would be better. Like, either way.
It's just too little of both. It's like it's a weird mix right now.
Yeah, it's not, it feels uneven. Yeah. It's like, sometimes it's like, am I supposed to laugh or am I supposed to be like, oh, this is like serious? Yeah. But most of the time it's... by that point in the movie, I was like, okay, this is supposed to be funny and nothing else. And I feel like that's another one where I think Vanessa Kirby could have had like an easy nomination in that movie if she had more to work with, because she was killing it. It's just that she didn't have anything to work with. Mm-hmm. And oddly enough, it's similar situation. It's like similar situation happens to her character in that movie to Lily Gladstone in Killers of the Flower Moon, where like by the end of it, she's like deteriorating because of the decisions of a man in Sideline. Yeah. Both, like, I know that's the point, but like it even feels that for the actress because she doesn't have anything to work with, and it kind of costs both of them. I feel like, well, at least a run at the award. I mean, Gladstone got a run at the award, probably could have won it. Vanessa Kirby probably could have been nominated.
I think it was just miscategorized for Gladstone.
I could see the supporting. I think that and it would have been the best thing to do with Emma Stone having the year that she had.
Yes.
Because I do think Emma Stone's deserving of that Oscar. I thought they were both deserving. And not that Devine, I haven't seen Holdovers, but I'm sure that she was deserving of that too. And I'm sure there was a big moment. I saw that. I didn't see her speech, but I saw that she was pretty emotional.
Yeah, she had a good speech. The Killian's and Nolan's were fantastic. Those were two really good speeches.
I really hope Killian does some more big stuff. Yeah. Because he doesn't get the lead role much in like blockbusters.
He deserves it though.
But I like him a lot as an actor. Even if he's not lead role.
No, he's
just
great.
Need
To
him more,
support,
and more prestigious.
I'd assume he's gonna stick with Nolan here for a while.
Yeah, especially now that Nolan doesn't have Sir Michael Caine as his good luck charm anymore. Because I know Nolan really likes keeping his cast.
Yeah, he's kind of like that Tarantino, like he has that crew that he always works with.
Scorsese, like always returning actors. I love when it's like they have people that return, but they also have like a shifting door where sometimes that person might have a different project, or they bring somebody else in who's a big name.
Yeah,
kind of like I feel like Brad Pitt didn't do anything with Tarantino up until Once Upon a Time. Or no, he did Inglourious. Yeah.
So this is gonna be 3 now. That Once Upon a Time, and then the movie Critic.
But again, like it's like a couple. Then, like he rotates out and he comes back in. I don't know. It's interesting. I wonder if Denis. Let's see.
Like Leonardo DiCaprio too, with Django, and then Once Upon a Time.
Well, yeah. I thought about Django. Is that the only other one that he's in for DiCaprio? Or for Tarantino? I think you're right, yeah. Denis had Bautista in both Blade Runner and Dune.
That, yeah.
Trying to think if he's had anybody else. Brolin was in Sicario.
Yeah. Did he direct the second Sicario?
No.
Okay.
No. I think those are the only 2 that he's had return.
I think you're right. He generally has a pretty fresh cast.
Greta Gerwig was... she always had Saoirse Ronan and Timothée Chalamet were in both of her other 2 movies. I'd seen that she was pretty... there was like a kind of a big deal that neither one of them were able to be in Barbie. It wasn't supposed to be like a big role, but they were supposed to be in there.
Okay.
And both of them had scheduling conflicts, I believe. Chalamet probably because of Dune.
Yeah. He's also been in a lot. That Bones and All. And
I was like, what is that noise in the background?
Damn dog.
Yeah, and then Saoirse, I know, was in Foe, which is not a big movie, but it was a book that I really liked, and then the movie didn't seem to do well review-wise. I might still watch it at some point, because I like Saoirse. I really wish that Lakeith had stayed on with that one.
Oh.
Lakeith Stanfield.
Yeah.
Which I forgot about that movie, but Clarence was
good.
Was good.
Yeah.
There were some parts that I was like, that's a little clunky. I felt like some of the romance was a little too much. I don't know. He's definitely got a style to him that I like. God, what's his name?
Ooh,
I know it. Because he did The Harder They Fall too.
That's not Shane.
No. God, I can't think of his name.
No.
I mean, he's another up-and-coming director that I really like how the style that he has for his movies. It's interesting. I always like a big style. I like when it's prominent.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, I'm watching this person's movie.
Mm-hmm.
Which I was watching a YouTube video, and one of the guys brought up that people apparently view Denis' style as Apple Store. And I was like, you know what? Fair enough.
Yeah.
It is like that clean, kind of crisp.
Yeah.
But I love it. It looks so good.
Yeah.
I could see how some people would, but I like it.
Especially Blade Runner, I think, is such a beautiful movie.
It works so well for sci-fi.
Yeah.
Arrival, like the big giant spaceship with the green grass. Like, oh. And thinking about that now, like I keep watching his movies and like, that would make a good desktop background. That would make a good
I know, all of them, yes.
Yeah, no, I'm very excited to see what he does. Like, I want to see him do Dune Messiah, for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Because I want him to have a whole trilogy. That'd be pretty cool.
If he can stick the landing, I think it'll be
which
really
I've heard
remembered.
that Dune Messiah is not that great of a source material, but hey.
I assume he can,
You can tweak which he's already tweaked a few things. If it's really that bad, then just tweak what you need to. It's more about continuing the story he already has than it is adapting the story further. That's the cool thing about adaptation is being able to twist some things.
Yeah.
So I could see him sticking the landing there, and then I'd be very interested in what he does going forward. I feel like I had seen some things about some projects he's interested in, but I can't remember.
Yeah, I can't remember. I feel like there was one that he was committed to that is like some guy who's like going to the sun, and I can't remember everything about
Going
it.
to the sun.
Yeah, I think it was like Morgan Freeman producing. I would assume that's after Messiah, maybe, or in between.
Yeah, no. Well, I think it's part of the thing is that Messiah wasn't 100% greenlit, and it's still. I don't think they've announced that it's for sure, but it's basically
I'm assuming.
I think I saw Dune made back its budget finally.
Yeah.
Because it was so massive that it was going to take some time, but I think they
a lot of marketing for that too. So
I think I saw that they had eclipsed 300 some mil, and I think the budget was 260.
Okay.
I think that was the budget.
I would
somewhere
assume
in that range.
it's gonna do really well.
As long as it makes back its budget and makes some profit, like it's gonna win acclaim critically. It already has. So getting both of those at the same time, pretty shoo-in for a sequel. So.
Yeah.
And I'll be like, I don't think it's gonna be good necessarily, but I'll be interested to see what happens once Denis done directing.
I know. I really hope they don't
What
just
happens to the Dune
adapt
franchise.
a million of the books afterwards.
I feel like it'd be kind of fun to watch.
Just what the series crash and burn.
Yeah, I mean, it'd be like interesting. It'd be kind of cool if it somehow they were able to change. Like I would find it very cool if it dies off, like it does crash and burn for a little bit, but then all of a sudden one of them gets like a director who suddenly is able to correct the ship, and it's like this massive success again.
Okay,
I think that'd be kind of fun.
Yeah,
I think those types of stories are fun sometimes. It depends. I think it helps that I'm not committed to the entirety of Dune. Like, I'm not like, oh man, I really need the whole thing to be good. I'm like, I got Dune Part 1 and Part 2. That could be enough just on its own.
Honestly, yeah.
And if Denis can do as well with, or even close to as well with Dune Messiah, 3 good movies, like,
Yeah.
I don't know where Messiah ends, but considering they're each their own book, I'm assuming that the ending is going to be at least enough to hold over for the end of a book.
I would assume so.
I don't think Herbert wrote the books always with the intention of being able to finish, if that makes sense.
Okay.
It's like he wrote the first book, and it's got an open enough ending to where he could continue, but it's also closed off enough to where that could have been the whole book.
Yeah, which is the best way to do that.
But I also don't know where he stopped writing it, because his son finished.
I think he's like 6 or 7. I think it was 6.
For him, specifically, Frank?
I know his son has made like a ton of books.
Okay, because I know that his son wrote some books. I didn't know.
I think there was like 2 that his son had finished that he started, and then there's like a million that
I
his son
saw
has written.
somebody's article that said that the movies could correct what his son did to the. I was like, whoa, taking some shots at his
I've heard that people don't like anything that his son has done.
Interesting. But yeah, no, it'd be pretty cool to see. Jordan Peele. I wonder when his.
Oh, that's got to be soon.
Movie. I think it'll be next year, because I think he already has the script written.
Okay.
And I think they're going into pre-production. I could be wrong.
I'm ready for that.
He's also got some good luck charms, though. He had Kahlua.
Yeah.
Return for 2.
I'd take him in every single Jordan Peele movie.
It might just be Kahlua. I don't think.
I don't know if there's anybody else that was.
From Us to Get Out, was there anybody between those 2? That was the same. No, I think it is just Kahlua.
Yeah.
But no. Keep bringing him back. That'd be cool. And I liked Kiki a lot in Nope.
Yes, she was fantastic in that. Everybody was really good in Nope.
Lupita and Us was great. That's probably one of my favorite Lupita performances. I haven't seen a lot of her movies, but
yeah.
Good stuff. Good stuff.
Good years coming for movies.
Mm-hmm. Who would have thought we get on the topic of movies?
Hey, who could have guessed?
I mean, I kind of knew beforehand. I was like, Oscar's going to get brought up.
Yeah.
And then even Doom Part 2 got brought up. So,
yep.
Natural conversation. But, all right. Hope you enjoyed. Another great episode from us.
Hey, we pump them out, and we do a really good job pumping them.
Why'd you have to end? We can't just have a good, normal ending.
What do you mean?
That's worse than my hop joke.
That is not.
That is worse than my hop joke.
Because
my hop joke was...
It was hip-hop.
So great. So leveled. You're just making a sex joke? Like, come on, man.
Hey.
Come on. That's some sleazy humor there.
Sleazy?
It's some low ball humor. Hanging fruit. Low hanging fruit.
You bastard.
was the easiest joke. You should feel ashamed of yourself.
I'm gonna go kill myself now. I can't believe this.
Great. Hey guys, just tune in next time for just me talking. All right.
No, you know, like those portraits they would do in the old days where it's like they prop up like their dead wife or whatever and they get like a photo with her.
No,
just like dead me propped up here.
Don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah, that was the thing.
Oh, interesting. Let's not make that a thing again. Oh man, what would I do with you?
We gotta end there. I don't want to know. I don't want to know what you do with me. I don't know.
I was. As soon as I was about to say it, I'm like, that sounds real messed up.
I don't want my dead body molested by Alex.
Why you gotta go and say it?
Have a good day, everybody. See you guys next time.
Oh God.